Yo, what's up, guys? Raw dog video for you, real quick. But I was just like kind of chilling out, and it just a subject popped into my mind, so I figured I would just do it like this. Make it a little bit more personal than just your average edited video that just So, anyways, guys, I noticed a lot of comments, a lot of questions. Um, Questions, people asking should they get this device or that device. And when you kind of look at the root of their explanations of why they want to get a new device, it's mainly to get the latest Android operating system, which to me, um, you know, just to answer that question, and the obvious question is do you necessarily need to have the latest Android OS? Okay. The answer to that question is no. You don't need the latest version of Android. Okay, there's when you look, and if you were to dig deep and look to see the differences between 5.1 Lollipop to 6.0 Marshmallow to 6.0.1 Marshmallow to 7.0 Nougat to 7.1 Nougat, um, there are slight changes. Don't get me wrong. So those people who are very heavy into Android, as I am, don't go flaming and being like, "Oh, well, this thing's changed and that thing's changed and this was added and that was." I know what was added in Nougat compared to Marshmallow compared to Lollipop, but does it necessarily mean that you gotta have those features, those new additions, to have a good experience with your Android device currently? And you actually don't. But let me just kind of configure that differently. If you're running 5.0.2 Lollipop or even 5.1.1 Lollipop, then no, you're not really going to suffer as far as how apps function and all that other good stuff. Because most apps pretty much are, I guess you can say backwards compatible all the way to 4.4.2 KitKat, and even some goes far back as 4.2 Jelly Bean. So really, when you kind of think about it, the upgrades in the Android OS system from Jelly Bean on up has had some few big ones. More noticeably, the UI changes, and of course, things optimization for battery, optimization for performance has increased in every new version of Android, and that's seriously what you're going to get because obviously, what's the point of putting out an entire OS update if it's not going to make those changes? Maybe not the UI is so important, but optimization for performance and optimization for battery. Those are going to be the major plays right there. So when you look at Lollipop on up, someone needs to change their timing belt. But when you look at Lollipop all the way on up to 7.1 Nougat, besides the optimizations, there's really not a lot you're going to miss. Unless you're a diehard geek and you use every aspect of the Android operating system for your day to day operations in life. But if you're just a person who YouTubes, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, maybe you watch Periscope, maybe you do Periscope, who knows? Maybe you like to just play games. You're not really missing anything. And so, this whole fixated idea of putting people on what I call the hamster wheel, where you have to continuously keep buying a new device because the masses out there say Nougat is so awesome, Nougat is so perfect, I love the way Nougat is, 7.1 rocks, you gotta have it. It makes other people feel like that what they have is obsolete and kind of forces their decision to spend money that they really don't need to spend getting a new smartphone that's pretty much going to give them a similar experience. And on the second note, just by doing that, you kind of kill off the good vibes you would get of even getting, an update. Because if you have if you've gone from one OS to another that has minimal visible changes, the experience is always going to kind of be the same. Okay, now if you were like on Froyo and you upgraded to something that has Nougat, you're going to get a whole plethora of freaking good vibes of the changeover. Because you're changing over from one complete way of how the OS ran and performed and behaved all the way to it the way it is now. And so that would be something of a significant change. Or even going from gingerbread to marshmallow would be a significant change. Slightly, yeah, ice cream sandwich and up would still kind of be a big change. From jelly bean on up, it kind of like is just a medium change. But from lollipop to nougat, there's not much of a visual you can see up front change. And because of that, there's absolutely no reason for you to feel like that your phone is superly outdated, dusted. Like, it's funny to me because people look at it and they're like, if they don't have the latest version of Android, they honestly feel like their phone is from the BC years. And that's kind of funny because it's actually not. I have a lot of devices on my desk I play around with, okay? I have devices that run 6.0 Marshmallow. I have devices that run 5.1 Lollipop. And when I switch between them, there's not really a difference, especially using devices that have skins over them. So, like LG devices with UX 5.0 and Samsung with TouchWiz over it. You're not really going to see big changes that's going to make you feel like that you've really upgraded from what you had before. So, honestly, this hamster wheel thing has got to stop. Yes, it's always exciting when Android puts out something new. Okay, I know with 7.1, one of the big things that you can do with it is that it's Daydream compatible. Okay, um, and that's what a lot of people push is Daydream, virtual reality. But you, it's not a big thing to want to upgrade to just for that. Especially if you're not someone that's ever going to use it. It's not really something that you have to put into your mind that I have to go get the latest and greatest Android OS. No, don't work that way. I honestly and sincerely feel like people just kind of need to slow down on upgrading phones. What I do on YouTube and some of my colleagues on YouTube do, we review phones. So, of course, we're always going to grab the next phone that we can get to unbox, to review, because we want to show you guys what the phone is like before you make the decision of buying it. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the lifestyle that we live as far as getting different mobile devices means that that's something that you guys got to follow in suit also. No, the whole thing I do on YouTube is to help you make a decision on a device that you're going to be happy with for at least a year and a half to 2 years before you decide to upgrade again. And so I honestly feel like that the hamster wheel has got to slow down. People have got to stop thinking that they have to get the latest version of Android and be fine with the fact that if you're still running Lollipop or Marshmallow or even Kit Kat, you're okay. Hey, you're all right. Bye, guys.